because I have GERD and eczema. Anyway, people like when I just chit chat and whisper. So I'll do that today by asking a bunch of questions. So if you're not new around here, you know that there's always just a bunch of stuff upbrewing in here. I don't have anything I plan on talking about beforehand. But let me just start by asking you. I'll ask questions and then I'll maybe provide answers some of the time for me or all of that. Let's see. You can also actually answer the questions down below if you want. You can put them in the comments section. You can write out a comment, or you can answer some of the questions if you feel like it. Yeah. Okay. Well, I have this on 2 different books, including the Skull Vikings 50 book. I'm technically a Vikings fan. I grew up a Vikings fan, but my favorite team is actually the San Francisco 49ers. So, what is your favorite NFL football team? Do you even watch American football? And if you do, some people only watch college football in America. Some people only watch NFL. Some people watch both. Sometimes there's people you don't watch both, but maybe they have a preference for college or NFL. I feel like if you have more of an appreciation for the sport, a lot of times you'll maybe watch college more, or maybe if you went to a lot of college games, you prefer keeping up with college football. That's just from what I've gathered from life experience, from what I've seen from people. But I grew up in North Dakota, and 𝐰𝐰𝐰𝐰 are really good now. If you don't know about them, look them up. Growing up when I was younger, they were not great at all. They were not good. They were mediocre at best. And then over time they got better. And so yeah, let me know if you watch college sports as well. But we would always go to the games. We used to live really close to the campus, 𝒕𝒊𝒏 campus, and my mom also at 2 different points in her life worked there in different departments, for different things. But she also graduated from 𝒕𝒊𝒏. So we would go there and we would watch, especially we would try to watch women's sports there. There would be less people at those, which sucked. But yeah, so that includes the football games where there would be way less than half of the Fargo Dome Stadium would be filled during home games. But now it's hard to even get a seat and they're more expensive. That's what I've heard. I don't know. I imagine so because they're a lot better. So it makes sense, they're a lot better. But I always liked watching the basketball games in general. I don't watch basketball now, and I'm not a big basketball fan necessarily. I watch it if it's on TV, but there's other sports I prefer to watch, even tennis. But my favorite sport to watch in person was always, when I was younger, the women's basketball team. The men's basketball was actually, I think, worse growing up than the women's, but the women's team was also just more entertaining to watch. Women's sports are so much more entertaining to watch to me, no offense. I'm not just saying that because I'm fan presenting, genuinely. I've just always thought that since I was really young, before I could comprehend gender dynamics in society at large. But do you prefer watching men's sports or women's sports? Because for me it is women's sports. I also my favorite sport. What is your favorite sport to watch or to play as well? My favorite to watch and to participate in, even though I haven't participated in a long time, is swimming. Swimming is also a better option if you have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which I do have. But I haven't swam. I haven't even been in a pool. I want to say since I was 18, maybe 19. If we were somewhere. No, I feel like I went to a pool somewhere. Maybe I was 20. It was definitely before 21. I don't even remember. But the last time I actually swam laps in a pool was 18. It was because my ex was on his swim team at a different school. We were together at that point. And so we went into a pool and he was swimming some laps, and I swam a down and back, which is 125 yards, maybe it's 25 meters, I'm pretty sure it was yards. I was dead. It was so hard to do. When I was younger, I used to always swim back and forth, no problem. I could just swim. We had 1.5 to 2 hour long practices depending on the season and So did you play sports growing up? I had to. Sorry, I'm chit-chatting more than I thought, but this is good. Then you can know more about me too. Growing up, after I quit swimming in 7th grade, after my first year of doing high school swimming, I quit. A big reason was because the people on the team were not nice to me. I swam with all seniors, not like all the seniors, but like in my lane. I was in the fastest lane for high school swimming. So it was all seniors and then one, maybe 2 juniors in that lane. If I'm remembering correctly, there may have been one sophomore, but I don't think so. So I was the youngest in that lane. I was in the fastest lane. And so the older kids didn't want to talk to me. And then also the people my age didn't want to talk to me. And that was also how it was in club swimming. The people my age didn't want to talk to me. The older kids, teenagers, whatever, didn't want to talk to me. So I like literally, I've done this before on live streams. I like in morning practice, which started at 5:30. Thankfully, we lived close by. I feel bad for people who live like half an hour outside of town, in the middle of nowhere, in rural North Dakota, and in the winter. Oh my God, can you imagine? What if you had sports that you were in? What time were the practices? Did you have to drop one sport to do another? Did they like intermingle with each other? It's hard because a lot of times it's just like after school or before schools when practices are. Also, like, were you a theater kid? I wish I was a theater kid. I didn't have time, especially because I had to start working when I was like, I first had a job in between 9th and 10th grade, and then I had a 2-year-long job, 10th through 12th grade. So I wouldn't have had time. I was in a bunch of AP and dual credit classes, and oh my God, I'm gonna get emotional. Do you miss school at all? Okay, I always sound weird when I say this. I don't like miss school, but at the same time, I love learning. I'm a slow learner, but I love learning about different things. I look up, like, I ask questions online every day at minimum, once or twice a day at minimum. Do I remember it? Probably not. But I always love learning. I don't retain a lot of it, but I always just love learning. Okay, my senior year though actually wasn't that bad. I actually liked senior year of high school because I had so much hope for the future. I've talked about this before, but like, I had so much hope for the future. How were you your senior year of high school versus all the years of high school? Because for me, my senior year of high school, I actually was very hopeful, and I was like so proud of myself and all that I'd done. And I wanted to just like move out. I wanted to move into a big city at that point. Now it would have to be more of a suburb situation probably, or like a big city with a small town vibe, or like, you know what I'm saying? But I always thought like maybe for some reason I thought I would move to like New York City or something. Like, I just want to move out of Fargo, North Dakota, go somewhere that's a lot bigger and like where there's a lot of job opportunity. I can thrive and I can meet a bunch of different people. I just had so many ideas for my future. Even though when I went for college, I only went to college for a semester. I had to drop out. Did you like where you went to college? Did you make a lot of new friends, or did you stay in your local area so you stuck around with people you were already friends with? Did you like your roommates? How many roommates did you have? I stayed local. I went to NDSU for a semester and I had to drop out. That was all like a blur. I barely even went to classes. I already started having health issues straight after high school. Anyways, so what I went for was radiological sciences, but then I switched that right before I dropped out. Like right before second semester started. I technically dropped out like a week or 2 into second semester-ish, if I remember correctly, but before second semester started, I switched to environmental sciences. And it's like both of those wouldn't make sense for me. I just wanted to have a job where I grew up without having much money in my family, so I want to have a job that was cool and interesting. Wasn't like an office job necessarily, but that could still make me enough money where I wouldn't have to worry about money ever again. Is my line of thinking. I'm like, I don't want to be a doctor. My at least first one, maybe even 2 years of college were all paid for. I had good grades and I was local, so that sucks that I had to drop out. Like, if I was in good health, I obviously wouldn't have dropped out, but also I would have gone down a path I wasn't happy with. I am so bad at science, y'all. The fact that both of those involve science, I I am so bad at science. The only class I dropped in high school. Did you ever drop any classes in high school? What about college? I dropped one, or I actually like maybe even 3 in college. I dropped only 1 in high school. It was my senior year, and it was something that wasn't actually necessary because I already had all my science credits. And it was dual credit chemistry. The teacher could not teach for crap. It's just like reading the book. I can't learn that way. How do you learn? I can't learn from just reading a book. I'm very visual, but I also have to do a combination of visual and doing, but predominantly visual. If I just read something or hear somebody, like listen to somebody, that's not gonna work for me. So for math problems, like I was good at algebra, I sucked at trigonometry, sucked at geometry, the shape ones, I sucked at them. Were you good at any maths? Which one were you best at? I was best at like algebra, like by a long shot. But for math, what helped me was when I would see people do it, but then it wasn't just like hearing them. I had to see what they were doing, and then I had to like replicate what they were doing and see how they got it. And then like if I did different problems, then I could use that as a reference point. You know what I'm saying? When we learn new topics. Oh my god! In math classes, you learn so much all the time. In school, in general, you do. Are you still in school? Are you still in high school? Like college? I know there's some younger people who watch. Like, do you enjoy school? What's been your favorite year so far? If you're already out of school, how are your high school years? How are your college years? For me, college sucked because I stayed local and I didn't get along with the people who stayed local, the students. So I didn't talk to any of the people after high school stayed local. My friends who I had all went elsewhere. So that really sucked, and also I was having a hard time because of my chronic health stuff. I know that during these chit chat stuff I talk about my chronic health stuff, but when I'm talking about life, like a lot of things have been impacted. Did you feel hopeful before high school ended or when college started? Did you, like I said, did you move out? Did you go elsewhere? I stayed local because I only applied to NDSU and I knew I would get accepted in. I was still kind of nervous. I'm like, what if? Also because my mom graduated from there, but and I had good grades and everything. But yeah, I stayed local, so I could get scholarships and stuff. I got like a rare scholarship that like only certain people, like a handful, small handful of people in the state got. I wasn't like a genius, but I think it's also because of I was smart, I worked hard, I took hard classes, and I also came from a lower income family. But I want to talk about what I was trying to say before. Senior year was good. I had so much hope, so it's really weird, and I get sentimental whenever I think about it. Thinking back to that time in my life, because I had so much hope, and then right after high school, everything went to crap. I started having like health issues. I don't remember specifically what I was gonna ask though. Like I don't know. It's just sometimes I reminisce. Especially senior year, parts of high school. Also because I had freedom. I already started working, and it felt like very independent. When in your life have you felt the most independent? Is it now? Like, when did you first start really feeling independent? Maybe you don't already feel very independent. Did you grow up in a strict household? I did not. But anyway, yeah, I just felt like very independent. I had friends that I would go see. I would drive people around. I would drive to and from, especially my senior year. I drove to and from Grand Forks to see my high school sweetheart. Because he didn't have a car, so I would always have to drive there. Even if it would be the dead of winter in the middle of the night during a blizzard. I had no fear back then. I was also on Prozac, so I didn't really feel anything. Have you ever taken like mental health related medications? I've only ever taken Prozac. And my mom, I think, was on that at one point. I was told that it helps with anxiety, but I know it's apparently more so used as an SSRI, serotonin, something inhibitor, something serotonin, something. Oh, why can't I think of it right now? Oh my god, it's an inhibitor though. Oh my god, I can't think about it right now. I'm so sorry. I used to always have to say like SSRIs, and then I would like say it when I was on it. I haven't been on it since right after high school. I don't know. There wasn't many people in my grade that I knew of that were on meds, none of my excited for college. I feel like things will be fine. And then I quit cold turkey. And then everything started crumbling around me. But they said I was on the highest dose that was, at least at the time, that you could have, which was 80 milligrams. And I realized, like, for me, looking back, like, if you're on meds, which one has worked the best for you? I know you don't have to say if you don't feel like it, but fluoxetine, my mom apparently at one point was on it, I think, is what she has said. So when she went with me to the doctor to get a medication, they had recommended, or they had said, we're going to put you on fluoxetine. And so my mom's like, oh, yep, I know about that one. I used to be on that. Anyway, apparently that's more so for depression, not anxiety. But I was more so, I went in mainly for my anxiety, but I'm like, girl, now looking back, I'm like, I was depressed. What do you do if any of you suffer from depression? What do you do to help you? Whether it's medications or like even outside of that, like what do you do? Because I realized once this is only my experience, okay, once I got off of fluoxetine, I felt everything again. I'm like, oh, before I was actually still depressed, but I was numb depressed, and then I got off of fluoxetine, and then I could actually feel happy, because before I couldn't feel like any emotions except for numb and depressed. Got off of fluoxetine, and then I could feel happy and sad, and also depressed. I don't know, like, if you know, you know, but I'm like, I didn't know it would be like that, and like now I know, as time's gone on, that that happens to a lot of people. It kind of like numbs your emotions. It's hard for people to cry, and like even before I was on fluoxetine, I never could cry at anything. Now it's so easy for me to cry. If you're on my live streams, have you ever watched any of my live streams? Which one has been your favorite one? Which one? If you started watching me from my live streams, which one was it? How long have you been subscribed for? Did you subscribe right away, or did you take a while to subscribe? You wanted to check out some of my other content. Was my content being recommended to you for a while before you finally decided to click? Were you watching somebody else, another ASMR artist stuff, before you start, like you clicked on mine as a suggested video from somebody else? I get that a lot of people who find me through 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈, which is amazing. 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 is like amazing. I wouldn't have started doing my repetition and stuttering, glitchy ASMR triggers without 𝒂𝒊𝒏𝒈 ASMR. They are so cool. They are so inventive. So they are great. And then, what else was I gonna say though about that? I think, yeah, I don't know. How do you usually find new ASMR creators? I usually find new ASMR creators by looking up something in like the search bar. It's usually not from like suggested videos from other people, because usually like I will watch somebody, and if I still have time, or if I'm still up, I'll watch another one of their videos, or somebody else who I already am subscribed to their videos. It's like, I don't have a Spotify account anymore, but when I did, like every year, it's like, you're the type of listener who, I had an account for like 2 or 3 years, and it would be like, you're the type of listener who listens to full albums. Like, I don't just put on one song and then a song from a different person. I put on playlists more nowadays than full albums, but it's like, I also still put on full albums when I'm doing stuff, like if I'm cleaning or if I'm shaving or whatever. So that's how I am. I just like go through people's collections instead of just like picking this and then this and then this and then this. Are you like that as well? Like me, or are you the opposite? Is it hard for you to listen to new music? For me, it is. When I was younger, I like never really listened to new music much, except for like stuff that was on the radio. Whenever I think of music from my childhood, the first song that always pops in my head, especially because it was like 6th grade summer. I don't know, because like middle school, oh my god, that's such a change, right? There's this person who had a pool, their grandma had a pool, so like that summer, and even the summer after that, they would invite us to their pool, me and my twin sister. For those of you who don't have a twin sister, so we didn't always have the same friends, but there's one person who we sometimes would hang out with together, and this person, yeah, their grandma had a pool, and they would just put music on. We'd be in the pool or like on floaties. Oh my god, that's such good memories, dude. Oh my god, I wouldn't want a pool for myself, but like if I had friends who had pools, that would be so cool. But like the Also because apparently, like if you live in California, which I want to live there one day, black widows live in the filters, or like, yeah, for the pool. Would you ever want a pool? Have you ever owned a pool? Like growing up, did you have a childhood pool? Did you have a vacation home that had a pool? Would you want a pool like in your home? Would you want an outdoor pool or an indoor pool? Would you want a hot tub? I wouldn't want a hot tub, but would you want a hot tub? Would it be inside or outside? Do you live somewhere where it would be cold? And so my godparents, who I don't speak with anymore, growing up, we would go in their hot tub in the dead of winter, like over Christmas break, we would go there, and they had a hot tub that was outside. It would be like sometimes in the negatives around that time of year, and we'd be outside in our bathing suits in their hot tub, which I've never really actually been too much of a hot tub person. I've never been a sauna person. That would suck for my pods. I haven't been ever too much of a hot tub person. If anything, I would prefer just the pool. The pool. Do you like the smell of chlorine? I could never smell it growing up, and then once I stopped swimming, my sister would still do high school swimming every year. So whenever that would roll around, I would smell the chlorine on her, the chlorine pool water on her, and like, I'm like, oh, so now again, whenever we'd go to like appointments in the morning after some practice, I remember there were times where people would be like, were you at a pool this morning? It's like, yeah. It's like, oh, you smell like chlorine. It's like, I can't smell. I just became immune to it. Are you like that with any smells? Like, I guess our home smells are like that, right? So like, maybe I can't tell about the cat litter. Maybe it smells like cat litter in my apartment, but I can't tell because I can't believe it. We're almost done. Like when I tell y'all, I can just yap and it goes by so fast because I am always thinking of things. But like, we don't put scents on here anymore. Do you put candles on? Do you put wax melts on? My mom still puts like the scentsy stuff on in her room every once in a while, even though it kind of triggers my nose and my mast cell issues. We have tea light candles. Do you see? There's one left right here. This is for tea light candles. This is the actual last tea light candles. They're just like white little tea light candles, and they're unscented and they're like small, so we will use those on a regular or daily basis for the most part, but we don't use scents anymore because I am sensitive to them. But when it comes to, even when I clean the place, the only time like bleach type solution is used is when I clean the outside and stuff of the toilet every weekend, and even then it's like I wear my gloves when I'm doing that. But usually, how do you clean your home? Do you clean your home? I clean my home every weekend. I have to because we live in an old apartment, and especially for me, when it gets to be around, this time of year, when it gets to be colder out and all the bugs are coming in, cleaning helps stave them off as much as I can, I guess, even though they still come about. But also because like dust and everything that collects, it affects my health issues, so I have to keep everything. I have to dust every weekend. 1 second. Okay. I dust. Usually it's on Saturday mornings after I eat breakfast. I dust, and then what's your favorite chore to do? I love washing dishes the most. But also, it's because I'm not somebody who lets things collect. I do my dishes right away. People who like keep things all crusty, it's like, yeah, that's not fun. Don't do that, and then dishes won't be as bad for you. We don't have a dishwasher. Growing up, we had a dishwasher in our like childhood apartment from elementary to through high school. We never used it though. You'll have to ask my mom about that one. She just wanted us to do the dishes ourselves instead of putting it in there. I don't know. But all this talking is making me like hypersalivate. Are you like that? Am I the only one who's like that? Who I know who's like that? When I talk more, it makes my like everything salivate. Like I produce saliva more. I can't help it. It just happens. What was I gonna say? Oh, first I dust, and then do you have a routine you stick to? Because for me, if you clean, how often do you clean? I clean every weekend, Saturday mornings typically, unless there's something else going on or whatever. And then I have to like move it to a different day. But Saturday, especially usually my mom will vacuum, but if not, then I vacuum. So it usually takes me 3.5 hours to clean everything. It takes around closer to 4 hours if I have to vacuum. 3.5 to 4 hours if I have to still vacuum. And sometimes depending on the day, or if I take breaks in between. Do you take breaks in between cleaning? I try not to. I usually don't unless I'm changing a song or changing the video I'm listening to, or if I just like need a break, if I'm feeling more symptomatic than usual because of my health issues, then I'll maybe take a break. But yeah, so 3.5 to 4 hours usually for me to clean everything. It's such a workout, dude. But yeah, hopefully I asked you enough questions. It wasn't just me rambling about, but I like keeping things clean, even though immediately, because of having a cat and also living in an old apartment building, things are dusty and all that right away. My least favorite out of those 4 activities to do might be vacuuming, but that's more so because I don't like making that much noise. The people below us, I think, sleep in because I think they work weird, or like different hours, like not a typical 9 to 5. They work like night shifts, and also I think they work weekends, so I feel bad, but I'm like, it's around like noon right now. Hopefully it's okay for me to vacuum. Or like my mom, she usually does it a little bit earlier than that, maybe more like 11. And then my mom is the one that does grocery shopping. Oh my god, I hate grocery shopping. So glad I don't do anymore. I just like tell her my list and she does it. Especially during the winter it started, because in the winter I can't do like grocery shopping. I've always hated it. But it's because in the winter I like can't be outside for very long or like out and about. So then in the winter it's like she gets the groceries, I stay here and clean. But now it's just like that year round, which I'm not good about. But other than the noise, if vacuuming didn't make noise, then probably my least favorite part would be taking everything out of the bathroom and cleaning the bathroom, including the toilet. I clean the toilet after I clean the sink area, and then the shower, and then the toilet. And then when I put everything back, doing all that is probably my least favorite out of everything. And my most favorite dishes are included in that. My favorite of all that is maybe you know what, it's satisfying cleaning the tile floors. We don't have like a Swiffer to clean the tile floors, unfortunately, so I have to use towels and like clean everything. It's just satisfying seeing all the grime and like the fur in my hair and like everything. So cleaning the tile floors as well as the stove top. I like keeping those things, like the kitchen food areas. I love keeping that clean. It makes me feel nice and tidy. So yeah, sorry if it wasn't me asking as much questions. I know that. Did you think I asked you enough questions? I mean, I just wanted to whisper and chit chat, and I like doing that. It kind of takes me away, not takes me away from reality. I don't know what else. It makes me think about things, like think about high school. It makes me think about good memories, like good feelings I've had, realizations I've had. I've talked on videos before and in live streams, and it helps me realize, oh, connects the dots. Like this is why I am the way I am, or this is why I think, this is why I act this way. I know a lot of you can relate, and I hope you find comfort in that. I think it's very comforting to find that in other people, or it makes you feel less alone. Even if like you don't relate to me, like in a 1-to-1 ratio, where it's like maybe you don't have chronic health issues, for example, but it's like you could still relate to maybe some of the struggles I've had, or the thought process of everything, or like what I don't know. I just, through the screen, you made me realize I'm more human, and it makes you feel more human. It makes you feel okay for mistakes you made or for things you've gone through. So I actually really love doing these chit chat videos. Yeah, okay, now I'm feeling good and happy. You can like the video, you can subscribe. I do live streams on Tuesdays and Thursdays typically, and I typically upload Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. Typically don't go live or upload on weekends, but sometimes I do. I do live streams every other week for members only, for the members only live stream, and I also upload once a week for members at my middle tier. All the information is down below if you'd like to become a channel member, but there's 3 different tier levels available. You can vote on polls for like videos I do and the live streams that I do. You can join the Discord, even at the